Good morning, team. Starting with Route 10, 2 stops. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. So I'm going to be taking you on my route today, starting with 2 stops over here. And pretty excited because got the 12.3.4 update and really would like to see if this will resolve. Well, that's nice. I think it's because of the front windshield. Like to see if it resolves some of the issues that I've been keen on. Come on, mate. All right. So, yeah, got the update over the weekend, and I haven't had a chance to try it out. And I think we're going to put it to the test today. So, big thing to look out for. 12.3.4, does it resolve the hugging of the curb situation, which, from my perspective, many people, or from what I observe, many people have had to deal with. Seems like a pretty big issue. So, it would be great if they figured that out. Otherwise, big stories are big stories are price cut to 99 that came out on Friday afternoon, I think. Price cut of FSD to $99. I'm not sure what it was before. I assume it was $199. Maybe more. But man, there's this term being thrown around called getting musked, which I don't know. It doesn't have a great ring to it, but there's a subset of people who think that price cuts are a bad sign, and I guess that makes sense because on one end it means that possibly you can't get rid of your existing supply, or there's not enough demand at that price, but there's always going to be a limited amount of demand at any given number. And if you are profitable, cutting costs, decreasing your margins slightly, I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing because you kind of like you just increase your market share, right? So I don't know. Could be a negative indicator, could be a positive indicator. I think it's strategic and positive. Um, I think it's strategic and positive, just on the fact that. Yeah. Anyways, whatever. Um, the other thing in the news is, and I got this through a connection. It's amazing how fast information flows. I got called yesterday morning saying that there's an inside scoop that Tesla's going to be doing a massive layoff across a company wide. I mean, and I was sitting there thinking, "Huh, is that good? Is that bad?" And then I think maybe 7 hours later or 6 hours later, or whatever, I'm seeing multiple posts on X, people saying there's rumors that Tesla's going to be making a lot of cuts. And those people are also making the same speculation, negative or positive. My gut reaction was to say it's negative, but then I realized you're cutting prices, you're cutting costs. Effectively, you're offsetting. You're offsetting some of those reduced prices margins because you're laying off a huge number of your workforce. Also, what does that mean about you solving your problems? Would I get rid of my workforce if I didn't need them, or if I didn't need them? I mean, no, I would only do it if they weren't absolutely necessary. And so, also another interesting indicator. What it could mean, a lot of people are speculating. Let's see what that stock's trading at right now. Also, I mean, obviously World War III broke out, according to many. Not that it's a laughing matter, but World War III broke out, and that's also having an impact on the markets. Again, not sure if it's going to be positive or negative, but usually I'm a pretty inverse myself kind of guy. And if my gut reaction is first that it's going to go down, what's probably going to happen is it's going to go up. Hard to call that, though. So we'll see. Stock's trading currently at 168, slightly lower than the close. So a couple dollars lower than what it closed at on Friday. A lot of people think it's going to go down. Some people want it to go down. Some people don't want it to go down. I mean, what's new? But I don't know. Everything's an opportunity in some way. I think with the right combination of forces, you can see this puppy drop pretty low, lower than people want. Where are we at right now? Have we arrived? We've arrived. One stop down. Hitting the next one. Okay. Back to more pressing matters. I mean, that was a pretty good first trip. Smooth. I actually wasn't at any point kind of taken out of my flow of thought. Parked the car, and even I had to stop myself and say, "Oh, we've arrived." So very nice and smooth there. There wasn't any moments where we were too close to the right, but that being said, we're on totally well lit, marked roads, well defined roads, wide roads. I wouldn't expect it to go too far to the right under those circumstances. So it's really about the unmarked roads with narrow streets and low visibility. But I think we'll have a couple of those today. We'll see. Speed up this max speed a little bit. Yeah. Pretty nice ride though. All right. A million notifications to check, emails, yada, yada, yada. Can't do that because FSD nags you pretty hard when you look away. which sucks because, again, the whole point of autonomous is that I'm trying to increase my productivity. I have things to do, things to post. I have money to lose. I'm trying to do that while I'm driving, you know? So hopefully one day we get there. That would be great. Uh, we're actually going to go. We're going to go to one of the stops that I've already done before uh, for this channel, and that's to this hotel. And I'm interested in how it's going to handle it because one time I went there and it drove right me to the front door, which was pretty awesome. It drove right past all the parking spots. It passed all the turns, drove past all the turns, and went right into the carport. And I don't know why that was the situation for one of my times on version 12.3.3, but the last two times which we filmed, um, it took a right turn. I think it took the first right turn, which was unexpected and incorrect because that right turn takes us to a restaurant in the parking lot. So my hope is, I don't know why I would hope this, but my hope is that this time it takes us to the carport again, as expected. And there's so many things in this car; it makes so much noise. Um, got got a couple car seats, a bunch of things. It's the joy of parenthood. I particularly am very noise sensitive, so I understand if anybody complains about the sounds, because I feel your pain. And last time I forgot to tighten the mount for the camera, so it was just wobbling while I was driving. Wobbling almost as if it like looked like there was someone back there handheld filming me the entire time. All right, pretty good. A little slow. I don't know if that's a bad thing, or it felt slow at least. Did 17 miles an hour on that turn. That was a free right entrance, left turn, protected left turn. And we're going, moving and grooving. All right. It might be at the bottom here. What's that? 168? Yeah. But the next stop after here, if it breaks out, 164. Yeah, Tesla's been trading in a channel right now, basically in the 170s. And it took Elon mentioning August 8th, Autonomy Day. And I think there was something else. It took a couple of catalysts to pump it, but those are somewhat short-lived by the CPI inflation data and the war that is potentially breaking out. But we're living in interesting times. All right. Let's see how it goes here. We'll see. Yeah, it's turning again. I guess, I don't know. The weird thing is the navigation also said 0 feet. So I don't know if something changed on the navigation data, but it drove me right up here. I don't think it's ever going to do that again. I don't think it's ever going to do that again. All right.
Hey, Mark.
Hi, Mike. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. How about you?
All's well, thank you.
That's great. You ready to pick up 10?
Yeah, Route 10's clear. And
okay, then start with those two for Route 8.
One of them says after 8:30.
No, you can pick it up because that used to be her office, but now it's her house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can go.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Mark.
All right, bye-bye. All right, calm yourself. Calm yourself. All right. A little swerving here, trying to get into the left lane. Not sure why. Double yellow brake line. Little things like that aren't that, like, they don't matter, especially when cars are around. But I mean, when cars aren't around. But I'm not even sure what causes that, because it's like, was it dodging something? Maybe I missed something. Was there a giant pothole and it saw it? But I don't think so. Route 10 clear. Picked up 2 bags. Going on Route 8 now. 2 stops. Thank you. All right. So far, so good. I mean, I don't know about if I should or if there's an opinion about that, but I don't consider it an intervention if I am taking over for the arrival, um, particularly when there's parking lots involved. Driveways, parking lots, to me, that's not intervention. For me, that's all navigation related. Um, and It's just not something I expect for FSD to perform right now. And I know there's a lot of criticism about the phrase full self driving not encompassing everything. But I mean, that's just, I think that's just for that's for the sake of being super critical and not actually being truthfully, objectively uh, assessing the software or the technology. 99% of the route, if it can get me there, 95, 99, that's pretty great success. I'll take care of the arrival. That being said, would be great if it gets to that point. I have no problem with that. Like crawl, walk, run. And timelines obviously have shifted repeatedly for the software over the past decade, but you know, I I remember getting into a Model S in 2017 and not even knowing about autopilot or about full self driving, and the person telling me, "Oh, I have the full self driving package," and we don't know all the technical differences between autopilot and that at the time, and we're on the freeway, literally on the freeway, just put on the autopilot, and it's pretty cool. But then you'll notice the car is weaving left to right between the lanes, like not at all what it is today. What it is today on the freeway is steady, moving forward without hesitation, without any type of drift or non-intentional drift. And I remember not being confident in it then, and we like turned it off immediately and just drove the car. I mean, we tried over and over, but everywhere we went, it would actually auto disengage. I think, if I remember correctly, we would be taking a turn on the freeway, like a slight bend, and it would drift. It would drift to the point where it wouldn't make it, and it would auto disengage, and we would have to basically take back over. Um, See, like, not bad. It's supposed to be in this exit lane. It in front of the truck was wide open. Instead of accelerating and going in front of the truck, it decided to slow down and go behind the truck. Hard to gauge whether or not that's a bad thing. On one end, it's doing the safe things to make sure to not miss the exit, which was fine timing, right? Like, if there was no truck there, that was a totally fine time to get into this lane to exit. On the other hand, human behavior would have said, I don't want to get stuck behind a truck. I'm going to go in front of the truck. I'm going to zoom up, even if it means speeding slightly. I'm going to zoom up, go in front of the truck, and take the exit at the risk of missing the exit. But given that you're familiar with the area, you know you wouldn't miss the exit because there's enough time if you speed up that you get in front. These are the complexities that I don't know if I should have that expectation or anybody should have that expectation. Um, but that wasn't bad. Like I've been in the FSD in the car with multiple versions where it misses exits because it's not properly going into the exit lane at a good timing. So I'd rather it not miss the exit. That saves me time and headache. All right. Let's see how it does here. Feel like it's gonna be too close. Okay, no, that's good. I was worried it was gonna be too close to the curb there on that right. And stop on red. I'm gonna push it forward. It's actually supposed to be up here, but this is a very this is a very confusing stoplight. Excuse me. It says stop here on red, but there's like there's multiple white lines because there's a railroad crossing here, and it's god awful. I've seen cars stop at all different types of lines here because it's so confusing, to the point where they have to put a sign to stop here on red. So I'm gonna check what settings I have this FSD on. It should be an assertive. All right, all right. Let's go faster, Mike man. Let's go. to put it in my phone just to double check the navigation. I literally went on FSD. I was using FSD a week ago or so to go to a specific stop. It took me up a mountain path that totally was wrong, and not FSD fault, navigation, because the navigation was showing that, um, but my Apple Maps was showing something not totally. I mean, totally different. Yeah, totally different, but it was just like one street over, which was very frustrating because it was like a long mountain that I had to go up, and yeah, that was upsetting. All right, let's zoom. Let's zoom. Let's make this green. Oh, come on, Playboy. Like, had I been driving, I would have gone around this car that was in front of us a moment ago, hit the gas, made this green. That's the level of assertiveness I need in my fully self-driving vehicle. Because, as I've mentioned before, my biggest pain point, other than the curb hugging, is just the slowness that I have to deal with the speed, which is like a bad thing to criticize because obviously you want it to be safe. But the only way I would not really be cognizant of the speed is if I can multitask, which I can't. So I'm just sitting here watching, like a passenger, watching the car drive at a very cautious rate. You know, I can totally tune it out if I was doing a bunch of other things, but I can't do a bunch of other things. So you know, that's a loss. I wonder what they changed as well. 12.3.4. There's nothing in the release notes that's specific. It literally says the same thing as 12.3.3. And I don't know if that's indicative of anything. I don't know if that's because of the uh, like the way that they are approaching updates and how that's changed. Because from what I can recall, in past beta updates, you get additional specific information. I'll check it again, but I'm doing like 7 things: responding to texts, checking the car information here. Got a blinking red. I think people had a lot of criticism about blinking reds at one point. Oh, it basically treated it like a yield. Wow. I don't think it did that before for me. There was definitely a time, but just to be interesting though, like it touched on the brake, very, very, very much signaling that it's intending to stop if needed. But that really should be the type of behavior for blinking yellow, right? Blinking red, you by law have to stop and treat it like a stop sign. So it totally didn't do that correctly. That being said, I'm not at all assuming it wouldn't have stopped had there been a person, a vehicle, a bike, whatever. Anything else that would have been attempting to cross, uh, it would have stopped. I don't know how it would have behaved had there been a car stopped. You know, my assumption is that it would have stopped, but you know, hard to call that. Hard to call that. I wish you can turn off the automatic speed adjustments because right here we're passing by like multiple speed limit signs. One of them is 25, the other one was 30, and so like you'll adjust it manually, and it just will constantly be holding you back. Another thing I want to say: this area I absolutely hate. This is a long merging lane. Like this lane is constantly telling you to get to the left, but you have to be in this lane to get to the right. And the way I would treat it is that I would have been in the left lane the entire time until I needed to get into the right lane. Just because, again, defensive driving, why would I be in the right lane where an animal, person, etc., ball could pop out when I can be in the left lane and give myself that buffer zone, that pad to understand or to be able to react, I mean, to anything that's unexpected. Okay, so that's correct. We're going the right way right now. Confirming with Apple Maps there. This is an unmarked, kind of a single car road. Definitely one of those roads where you'd have to squeeze by slowly if there was another car coming in the opposite direction. They maneuvered around all those parked cars really nicely, smoothly, without any type of like major having to stutter or slow down. Going to a stop here. Cool. I don't think I've touched the gas at all since this morning, whenever FSD's been engaged. I'm really trying to avoid doing that. So it just took, I don't know if that's the wrong turn. No, that's, so my navigation, the Tesla navigation or Google Maps, I guess, said go right. This is a big roundabout. It said go right and go to the stop. Apple Maps said go straight and go right to the roundabout. It's fine either way. Um, it's not shorter. It's essentially the same distance. But this inconsistency across navigation platforms is also somewhat frustrating. So, all right, we've arrived. Narrow road. Let's see how it treats it. Is it going to continue on? Because it says 0 feet. It should come to a stop, but I think it might be looking. Okay, came to a stop. I gave it a slight tap. I was trying to turn on FSD right there just from a full stop, but it wouldn't take. And I don't think it ever does. I gave it a slight nudge just to say, hey, I'm ready to drive, and then tapped it immediately and it went and it engaged. So, not a problem with that. Would be pretty cool if I can just start it from a parked position and see how it handles, but not quite there yet, I guess. All right, very tight. Totally good distance on the right, totally good distance on the left. Treating that pretty nicely. A little overcautious, you know. Definitely overcautious. It's creeping forward for visibility, I'm guessing. Uh, it's a little cold in here. Turn the heater on. Pretty close to the curb there. Not, not great. Doesn't bode well for my estimation of how things are gonna go for other roads. It was pretty close. It was unnecessarily close. But so it looks like news just broke on, according to my brokerage, Tesla is planning on. Are we going the right way or going the wrong way? I'm going the right way. All right. Tesla is planning on laying off 10% of its workforce. That's less than I was told. I was told 25%. 10% is cool. Honestly, it's arbitrary, right? Market is not necessarily taking it negatively. It's still holding around 169. Curious what will happen. Okay, calm yourself. You don't need to get all pissy. Like I'm trying to lose money here. Why aren't you letting me do my thing? Why do I have to hear the bap 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 bap? It's totally unnecessary. I'll say it again. It's like, if there's a deer, alert me. If there's some problem up ahead, alert me. I'm right here. I'll handle it. Otherwise, if I'm doing my thing and you're doing your thing, you have no problem. If you're totally in control with no issue, why are you bothering me? Am I right? Like, who's serving who here? I heard a great quote the other day. It said, in the future, he said, in the future, this was a gentleman named Naval Ravikant or something like that. He said, in the future, you will either be taking orders from a computer or giving orders to a computer. And that's an interesting thought, you know? I could definitely see how that's the case. I gotta put my phone up here just so I can look like I'm looking, which is pretty annoying. Like, which is like what cops would love, just to see, why is this guy holding his phone up at the highest possible angle? All right. So far, so good. I mean, it drove through that. There was like a multi-lane situation there. Totally navigated it properly. Didn't hesitate. We're going the right way, so that's good. Unmarked roads, pretty wide. Not anything to be worried about. Speed limit is 30. It's doing 16, which is great. I've had a lot of experiences where the speed limit will be 30 and it will go 30, but I wouldn't necessarily go 30 just because the speed limit is that high. It's definitely, I think, it's definitely picking up on the fact that there's a lot of curves and turns and cars parked on the road. So going 30 is not necessarily advised. Or I don't know, maybe there's something else that's causing it to not go the speed limit. But I mean, I don't know. Max speed set at 35, speed limit is 30. You're doing 16. Must be a reason. And again, that's a good thing. I'm happy about that because it should not go full speed on that street. That would have been. It would have felt dangerous. It probably wouldn't have been dangerous because there's not a lot of activity on the street right now. But it would have felt uncomfortable as a passenger. Apply turning force during a turn. Also, one of the things I hate, you're asking me to do a confirmation by yanking on the wheel while the wheel's turning. It's just not safe and also very difficult to attain without messing it up. So, here, we're at a turn. It can't make it, according to it. It's come to a complete stop. I'm trying to press the gas. Yeah, it's going directly into the mountain. So that's an intervention. Gonna have to back up. I saw the other day people saying, "Oh, one day it's gonna be able to back up soon." I mean, technically, it could back up now. I was using AutoPark the other day, and from what I understand, AutoPark only backs up. You can't AutoPark from the front My guess is probably because for the lack of camera at the front bumper, but auto park backs up to all the spots. So um, why can't it back up when I'm on a street and there's a wall in front of me? Like, what's the difference? Is it really dependent on lanes, like lines, parking lines? Because if it is, that's interesting. Like, I didn't realize how much lines matter to the camera. I thought it's perceiving depth uh, using the surroundings. So that was totally a situation it could have backed up on its own. I don't know. I don't know why they don't allow it to, but again, interesting. Super, 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 super steep turn. Super steep turn. I think you can make it. It just needs to go. Oh, you know what? I don't know. I feel like we could have made that one. It says it's very tight. It was a tight turn. I'm not like I'm not holding it against it. That was a very, very tight turn. Are we going the right way here? Oh my god! Just back to 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 back. Tight turn. It's not even supposed to go this way. So that's another problem. Correct way is straight, and that's what I was thinking because I've been here before. Okay. So that's two interventions on this one stop, all due to the tight turns. Um, one on the left, one on the right, like steep tight turns on a narrow road. So, you know, again, super critical person. Yeah, that's not great. What am I? I don't know what I'm expecting here. We got a cliff on our right. It seems to have veered from the cliff, but I don't know if that was just coincidental. Cliff again on our right. I can't believe people live on streets like this. Like, it's wild. Like, the road is like chipping away at the side, almost as if the mountain has been degrading over time, and their houses are on these stilts. They like just park their car. Look, like this guy's car is like at a, I don't know, 25-degree angle. Maybe I'm overestimating on that. Okay, we've arrived at the stop. I'm gonna go ahead and park the car in one of these people's carports. When I bought this car, it didn't have the ultrasonic sensors, so it had no backup indicator. Actually, I'm not gonna park here. I'm just gonna pull over up front. It had no no parking indicator, like no sensory beeping. I don't know what you call it, whatever. And I was pretty let down considering I had just bought a brand new technologically advanced car. So, like I was saying, I just bought this technologically advanced car that couldn't even tell me how close I was when I was parking my car in my garage. That's pretty disappointing. But then it took a while, but I don't know. I want to say like 8 months or 6 months later, maybe more, maybe less. Received an update saying that my camera only system can now detect depth when parking, which was amazing on the level of seeing. I'm going to go no navigation right now, just go straight down. And amazing that an update can just bump up my car's capability, which is something I rave about towards to other people with ICE vehicles. It's like you just spent the same amount of money I spent on my car. You're paying more for gas, and your car doesn't get new features on the fly. Mine does. Like, how do you not look at that as a value proposition? How do you how do you not recognize, like, hey, there's more to this than just the electric part of the car. It's not about an electric car. It's about the computer on wheels. And then on top of that, it's wasn't just front and back. It can see. It tells me the depth on on the closest to the curb, which is pretty awesome. Like no sensors, all camera based. That's impressive. 1 second. So it should take a left here. Okay, I gotta take over because I didn't put navigation on that one. That's not an intervention. That's just freestyle. Route 8 clear. Picked up 2 bags. Going on Route 20 now. Thank you. Pretty close to the curb.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mike. I just want to make sure I'm going on Route 20 now, correct?
Yeah, like the way I put it for you, starting with the Ames.
Ames. Got it.
Yeah, and finish to Robinson.
Okay.
Okay, Mark.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
So we're very, very close to the curbs right now. I'm going to have to take over. There's a car behind me. I didn't want to take time. 8. All right. First stop. Let's go. Yeah, so that first intervention, when we were coming down the hill right there from that stop, not its fault. There's a fork in the road. I don't expect it to know to go left. I wish that it would go left upon my direction when I give it a signal. And this is something that a lot of people have posted about. I feel like when I say a lot, I mean I saw one post where they say if you go slow enough and you put the signal on, it will follow the direction of your signal. And I actually have experienced this. That being said, I don't experience it consistently. And I don't know exactly how slow that's supposed to be because right now we were going pretty slow in my opinion. I put the signal on, doesn't go to the left. It attempts to go to the left briefly, but then it goes back to the right, and so it doesn't seem consistent. It should be confident and capable enough that the moment I put a signal on and there's a turn coming up, it takes excuse me. The moment that there's a turn, whether it be left, right, it takes my signal as the override. Even if it has a navigation path, it should say, oh, driver wants to go left, we're going to go left here. Even though I want to go straight, or even though I want to go right. It should take that, reroute. That should be what the future of the FSD software should be, is that there should be a driver override for direction, all based on the signal stock. That's, I don't know. Because I love putting FSD on with no navigation. I love just putting it on and letting it drive, particularly when I'm going in a long distance trip on a short distance trip where there's not a lot of turns it can make. So I'm just going to turn it on without putting the navigation and then take over whenever I need to. But if I could just not have to take over and just use the manual stock to tell it where to go, then perfect. So that's 4 stops down today, and I'm pretty sure we only had 2 technical interventions, or maybe it was 3, but they were all based on sharp turns. Pretty close to the curb there, pretty close enough that I was concerned and was ready to take over if needed. So, 6 a.m. on the West Coast here. And the stock is up 170. looks like they don't care, or at least, what am I saying? They don't care. It looks like the layoffs is a good news. Cost cutting. Cost cutting. People like that. Gotta put my phone up so the world can see. 35 and a 35, that's fine. Let's kick it up a notch. Got things to do. Mm. So right now we're on a pretty dimly lit road. Not a lot of streetlights, but clearly defined lanes and wide roads. It'd be awesome for it to get to the point where it can identify. Uh, I mean, a caution tape would be amazing. That would be next level. But because I know it, I mean, everybody knows that it does cones pretty well and garbage cans, but would be really great for like those, I don't know what you call them, but like the road work kind of triangle shaped signs that they put up randomly when there's work being done. If they can show some of those, that'd be good. Even if it was like a generic, oh, whoa, whoa, good lord. That's a ditch that I did not want to risk getting into. And that was crazy close. That was crazy close. Yeah, that was crazy close. So not great. Had to take over out of fear, not because the car uh, had to be taken over, but I mean, call it what you want to call it. That's just it's not it's not good, right? Like a successful FSD drive to me is not one where the car needs to be taken over because it's stuck, but one where the driver, passenger, etc., are totally not at any point of time worried. So this one took us to the correct destination. One intervention. Be right back. Customer did not have their bag ready, and I had to knock down their door just to get it. Really killed the efficiency on that one. All right. Offline. There we go. All right, I think we're having some internet connectivity issues here. So we got 3 stops left. Oh, come on, mate. Come on now. All right. Kind of threw me off balance there, but so yeah, what was it? Super tight turn on that last one. Going on 3 more stops. Not sure how many of these are on narrow roads, but okay. So right here is a huge, wide road. It was kind of driving. Oh, it's a really good job. That guy all the way on the other side of the street was walking out to go towards his car, and it slowed down. And as soon as the guy started turning towards his driver door, um, pretty good, pretty good. But that being said, I was saying it was driving on the parking lines, and it kind of at some point understood that it shouldn't be there, and it adjusted towards the center. But that makes me realize again that adjustment towards the center is because of the lines. It's not necessarily because it wants to be a defensive driver and hew towards the center like it should. Market's about to open in 3 minutes. We're up from the pre-market lows right now. Pretty good. Interesting which way it's going to go though. My guess, we're going to open up. Is my guess. We'll see what happens. Can't help but think about what's going on in terms of military conflict around the world right now. Not so much that it's tragic, which it is. Not so much that it's a problem, which it is. But I'm wondering just about how I witnessed the Iraq War. Not not the war itself, but I witnessed us going there, us being my country, and I'm witnessing this one, which we're undoubtedly involved in, and it's just interesting. Like life. Like you're so removed from it, you don't really think about it. You're like nothing's changed in my life, not directly at least. Just just maybe financially, maybe socially, but nothing really. Just another conversation point to talk about when you're at a dinner party. Um, just another topic to talk about at all. Not really anything that actually goes on. But then you see it and you're like, yo, these are those people's lives. The fact that I'm even chuckling while I'm talking about it makes you. I mean, for me, it takes me down the path of the whole simulation, which a lot of people have discussed in the past 10 years. It's like it almost does feel like a video game. Like there's things going on from these like these pre-scripted narratives that are all like happening around you, and they really only matter to you if you engage in them. That's the there you go. I felt it going over the edge on that one. That was a definite takeover. That was a definite takeover. I had to pull it because that was again not just a curb situation. It was a ditch. So had it gone, it would have fallen over for sure. And I felt it. Um, right now, it's way too close. Way too close. Like as my wife says, we're in the bushes. Way too close. Way too close. There's rocks sticking out of that wall. So, back on topic here. Forget about the war. More importantly, 12.3.4 does not address nor solve the curb hugging problem. It is definitely still an issue. I do not trust it in terms of the curbs. It's not good. 40, there we go. We repeatedly drive past this stop. I think we actually came together on this stop once. We drive past the stop because the house is that way in terms of the street, but it's down this side driveway in terms of getting to the house. Navigation problem? I don't know. Problems generally speaking, yes. All right. 6:33, market's open. We'll take a look just a second. Gotta get out of this. It's hellfire here. Again, I don't know why people would live like this. I grew up on wide, one to years style streets where you can park a Buick and still have space. These people live on the most narrowest paths, on the most dangerous hillsides, and they pay top dollar for it. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. The things people do. Okay, let's close that one out. But yeah, that way too close to the curb on that last one. If there was a curb, it would have scratched undoubtedly not just the wheels but the rims, or I mean the tires, but the wheels. And I'm 100% certain, without a doubt, I felt the edge of the road because I'm sure people who drive understand. Okay, I didn't want to risk it there. There's a cliff. People will understand. You know that feeling when your tire has left surface. There's no longer surface underneath it, or only partially underneath it. That's the feeling that it had. It had that feeling where only part of my tire is touching the road. The rest of it is free flying, free floating. Again, super tight turns, curves, edge, no border. Not something you want to play with. Not something you want to play with. I mean, maybe the industry in the future is having to go and remark the sides of roads so that they're extremely delineated and defined. Maybe that's, you know, the next thing where all of these roads that have essentially just go from road to not road need to be lined with a reflective, the same reflective paint that delineates the center needs to be on the borders. You do that, it makes it very easy for the cameras to detect and go off of. Right now, it's kind of actually, now that I'm saying it all out loud, it's really incredible that it defines the border outside at all. Like, it's somewhat arbitrary. These things are, you know, moving a lot, especially roads where there are no curbs, and it's just like this kind of there's bushes, trees sticking out over the curb line. Like, how is it defining that? Here, defined white line, it sees it for sure. The other one is like a fuzzy line. It's like a fuzzy match. You know, not great. All right, another stop here. Where's that market at? Are we up? Open down. Hit open down. 167 and knifing downwards. We'll see how that goes. I gotta put my phone up here because I'm a loser. I mean, because it forces me to look. Good lord. All right. I'm getting a lot of buzzing on my phone, but I'm not sure what it's for. And it's hard for me to check because I have to keep my eyes on the road. Not something I'm looking forward to doing. All these notifications that one must check. We're a slave to it. It's complete. Like, oh my god. Oh my goodness. You know what I mean? Like, what happened? What happened? I grew up with nothing, none of these things. Now it's just everybody has to do it. What happened? Okay, not bad. Doing fine here. Keep going. It says 0 feet because the house is up the hill to my left, but we're not quite there yet. Turn, please. Interesting. Yeah, so I mean, this is like a this is an issue of navigation slash FSD. It thought it had already arrived. So wait, this is 9. Okay, so it's up this hill, I believe. Yes, it sure is. It sure. All right, next stop. So definitely an intervention, but not because of safety issues. More so again, arrival, destination planning. I'm not sure what you call that, but essentially, not taking it the last step. Got me generally here, but that last step I had to take it, which is fine. Totally fine. Is the next one in? Oh, going pretty fast for a turn like this. Okay, we're in. We're good. Next stop. Knifing lower. New low, 166. When I say new low, I mean since last week. Okay. Let's roll. I'm going to go ahead and press the gas here. It's going to be the first time I press the gas today. It's going pretty slow. I got to zoom and groom now. Zoom and groom. Whoa. Yeah. Zoom and move and groove. I got to move and groove now. I'm going to run the stop sign, California roll. Let's go. Hey, Mike. Okay. Okay, I'll go there after the next stop. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. So one more stop after this one. It's super important that I'm able to multitask while I'm driving, but of course, like here, I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention. My hands on the wheel. I'm paying attention. Come on, like come on. I mean, come on. I mean, come on. You're gonna have a bad time. Um, what? I think that. Hello. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Bye. All right. So two more stops. Two more stops. The turkey crossing the road there. Didn't see anything on the FSD screen. I'm not sure if it picked up on it. Porsches are really good looking cars. I mean, I look at this thing and I say that's a good looking car. Very specific, very unique. It's their own thing. I always felt like the Model Y kind of looked like a Porsche. Not like in its entirety, but just specifically maybe the front. I don't know if other people had that opinion, but it always felt Porsche like. I'm actually going to override this because the stop that I have to make is one of the stops I have to make is up ahead. So we'll come back and do that one. I'm going to end the trip so it doesn't turn around. Come on, mate. Oh my God. Oh, the nag. The nag is ridiculous. The nag just wants to like drive you up a wall, just completely ruin your day. Did I run a red light? I don't even know. Man, the nag. The nag makes it so unbearable. It makes you just say, hey, there's definitely been times where it's like, it's nagging me. I'm like, I don't want to risk getting flagged. I'm just going to turn it off. And then I end up driving not as safely, you know, because I'm doing seven things while also driving. My man, just drive for me. Let me do my thing. All right. One more down. Not quite a successful FSD stop because I had to take over. Not because of FSD, but because the stop changed. That's good to go. 159. Come on, mate. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, so sorry, so sorry. Alright. This is why you want to have FSD. I'm sorry about that.
What are you doing?
My apologies.
Okay, what are you doing that you...
That was not intentional. It was an accident. I'm so sorry.
Okay, goodness gracious.
My apologies. That guy wanted beef. How am I going to handle that? I'm not too sure. But see, people get upset. One of the things that FSD is going to solve. Man, in another life, I would have got out of the car. All right, so we're back online here. That guy got out of the car like he wanted a problem with me. I don't know. What would have happened had I got out of the car? Huh. Maybe he thought because I turned around, like I did a U-turn, he was like, "Oh, this guy wants it. I'm gonna give it to him." I was like, and I was making a U-turn because I had to. Um, amazing, amazing. Life is incredible. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I mean, could you ever have a better example of why you want FSD? I'm over here trying to work. I'm over here trying to manage multiple things. And I got to worry about making this turn here. And next thing I know, I'm almost causing a head-on collision. You know, uh, it's just these are one of many of the things that FSD will resolve and do away with. People not being able to fully have their attention on the road. You got cameras to do that for you. So Totally my fault though. Not at all for a second am I thinking what a prick, because I scared the crap out of him. That's the vibes, right? I scared the crap out of you. He's just getting his morning started, right? Like, he's on his way to work. That guy probably makes a ton of money. He lives in a great area, and he looks like a finance bro. You know, he looks like someone who definitely makes money. You know what I mean? He's got the vest on, got the haircut, got the shirt, got the pants, the shoes. Drives a really modest car. Modest car, but his house is probably incredible. Yeah, you know, I scared the crap out of him, and he wanted to go to war. And that's fine. I understand. I've been on the receiving end of that as well. I've been on the receiving end of, or in terms of the accident, I've been on the receiving end of someone else driving like an idiot and not paying attention. But it's so amazing that it actually happens in the context of, hey, I need to switch my address. I need to put it into my system. All these friction points. Okay, just arrived to our destination. I was pressing the gas, drove past there, but very good. Right? Which way am I? Okay. One more stop here. Oh man, the nag. The nag, the nag, the nag. Enough with the nag. Pretty close to the right. Just hit those bushes. But they were encroaching onto the road a lot. How are you supposed to get ahead in life? Knifed to 165. Knifed to 165, and I think we're going 162 today. I think so. I think 162 is definitely in play. So we gotta get the 162 options up on the chart. And we gotta get that spread ready to hit. All right. All right. Let's put a limit order in there. 1.25. And we're good. Okay. See, this is what I'm talking about. No nag. I just put a trade in. We're going to our destination. I'm getting things done. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it should be. That's how all of this uh, digital jujitsu should be. You know, like, because that's what it is now. You can't do one thing. You got to do multiple things. How do they expect you to do all those multiple things unless they give you the tools to do them? Got to keep a smile on your face. Got to not get affected by everything. I mean, in all fairness, that curb pops out, so I had to like go around, which is not great, but how are you supposed to get ahead in life? Got to keep a good attitude. Why do I feel like there was a Cybertruck underneath that thing? Um, uh, it's amazing. I've been in situations where like I'm the asshole, you know. I'm the guy who's like enraged, and it's so funny how you can't control yourself under those circumstances. But when you're on the receiving end, sometimes like you see the other person is totally in their emotions, and you don't like hold it against them. You're like, hey man, no problem, you know, whatever. All right, we did we did 8 stops. I really should be putting in my destination before I start going though. I need to be better about that because that's what caused that caused that altercation slash almost head on collision. Um, yeah. What am I saying? What am I saying? Yeah, 8 stops. So we just did 8 stops. Uh, I feel like it was better than last week, but only like marginally better. And mainly, I think that's just because the most of the stops weren't really on a cliff, right? I don't know. Hard to keep track, but that's what the video is for. I am pushing the gas for sure, just because I gotta get out of here. Gotta go to the next job. Um, we're zooming and moving. You don't understand how important certain things are until after the fact. I don't know if it's a you thing or if it's a me thing. I don't understand things until they're after the fact. One thing's for sure. Why are we not going right here? We should be going right here. I don't know what the cause of that is. I don't know what the cause of that was. I don't know if it's an FSD navigate because navigation was saying go and turn. That never happens. It always takes that turn. You can even see it here right now. It's saying make a U-turn up there. I don't know why. Anyways, unimportant. Again, not like a major intervention there. Navigation problem. Shouldn't be telling it to go straight. It's not an FSD issue. I don't care. Just call it what you want to call it. You want to be critical and say it's an FSD problem. My man, go talk to Google Maps. You know what I'm saying? QILD is doing amazing. Um, Anywho, how do you stop yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, let's see if it. Come on, man. Go around him. Go around him. Go around him. I want you to go around him. Go around him so I can zoom up. Go around him. Like, why I tell you to go left, to go around, and you don't go, those are the little things in the future are definitely going to be resolved. .3.4. My man, you still got curb issues. What? Oh, because it was red? It really knifed there, didn't it? Didn't it? I'm going to go ahead and kill this. Come on, mate. Come on. What's the problem, mate? Just want to make some money, lose some money. Let me lose my money. Drawing them fib lines. Okay. What a world we live in. My other job, I do remotely. This job, I'm on the road. The other job kills you in one way. This job can physically kill you. The other one doesn't have any physical threat. There's very low probability of me dying on the job or getting injured on the job when it's remote. Much higher probability when I'm driving X number of miles on a daily basis. It's arguably exponentially higher, right? Compensation for this job, compensation for this job, relatively the same, I think. Considering I only work this job for a couple hours, the other one is my full time. This job, had I done it full time, I'd probably make about the same, I think. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. Compensation, risk, reward, attention requirements, laxness. These are the modern trials and tribulations, as the phrase is. Back in the day, you'd be terrified of getting eaten by a lion or a bear. Now, I'm terrified of getting into a car accident. Now, I'm terrified of getting fired. It's amazing. I think it's just you can go down a rabbit hole of thought like that, and it's pretty amazing. Anyway, we're here now. FSD 12.3.4. As successful as the last ones. I give it a 7 out of 10 for today. Not taking into consideration my mistake, mainly just because of the cliff. That was a major cliff, and that's it. Have a great day, everybody. Bye bye.